Hello everyone. Good morning or good afternoon as per your respective time zones. On behalf of the entire Managed Services team, we would like to welcome you all to the 22D Workforce Management Advisory webinar session. This important session is to keep you fully synchronized with the new features and functionalities as part of this quarterly release that Oracle provides. My name is Rahul Gike and I'm Service Line Marketing Lead at Mastek. Today I'm your host for this session. I'm glad to introduce my colleague Ankur Agarwal, who is part of our vast HCM team at Mastek. Today, he will take us through all the workforce management updates for 22D quarterly release. Today's session is planned for around 45 to 60 minutes, and we'll make sure that we also spare some time to answer all your questions that you may have. Before we move to the agenda, let's have a quick look at the important disclaimer. We would like to convey you our approach towards your Oracle updates in a very simple method. We will be talking you through vital analysis for the 22D updates done by our experts, which will help you incorporate new features and updates easily into the system. Also, we will sync you on any bugs or known issues if there are any. It's good to have an interactive session, so please do ask questions through chat or question panel. We will answer them at the end of the session. In case if you run out of time, we will make sure to respond you back by connecting you at a later stage to answer your questions. This is to give you a glimpse of how we have created the structure of the session. List of new features coming into 22D, detailing on features so you get brief understanding on what new features are all about. Next one is what are the business benefits and the important takeaway for you as a decision maker. There are 4 components where we have done in-depth analysis of features which we are going to present to you. First one is impact level analysis, which demonstrate the impact on the end user. If it's low impact, then regression testing can be avoided. If it's high, then we need to opt for regression testing. Second one is we are all aware that there are some features which may by default auto-enabled Oracle, and there are some which we need to opt for. Third one highlights the nature of the feature. There would be certain configurations which may be required or some can be used without any changes. Last one is a quick win. This term we use to simply convey that what is ready to use by investing minimum amount of time and what requires significant amount of time and effort to make use of this feature. Before I hand it over to my colleague, we would like to know with the help of a quick poll, which industry does your organization belong to? This will help us creating more fruitful webinar content moving forward. I'll be closing the poll in next 5 seconds. Thank you. With this, I will be handing over to my colleague. Over to you, Ankur.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning. So now we are going to talk about the new features which are going to be released in 22D. Okay, so here you can see in total we are getting 34 features in 22D. Out of that, 20 features are like we can use it without any configuration or without enabling. So those are the like quick wins. And then we have 5 more quick wins where we need to do a small configuration or where we need to enable them. And then we have 9 features and the rest. 2 for we need to do the configuration and 7 are the rest. We will talk about these 34 features in the next slides. Okay. Now, if we will start looking from the quick wins where we do not need any configuration, which are the default features available directly when we will apply the patch in our instances. Okay, so first one is carryover balance consumption and multi-year carryover for approval. So earlier we had a limitation in the absence where carryover was possible only for a year or 365 days, but now Oracle has given an option to do the carryover for multiple years. So the benefit of it, like we can see the remaining balances and expiration detail for each of your carryover sub balances, and we can do it for multiple years also. So now employee will have greater benefit and they can use their carryover balances over the multiple period. Okay, so this is the direct feature available in the absence configuration, and we do not need to do anything else. Second is like increased character limit for short code in calendar events. Earlier, short code size or number of text allowed on the short code for calendar for this calendar event is only 8 characters, but now Oracle has increased to 48 characters. So benefit we are going to get is like now we have more option, like we can give any name within a limit of 48 characters for the short code. Now, standardization of button logic in responsive time card. So this one is like time card action button. Now show all the actions person can do. Doesn't matter it is available to that person or not, using the security setup, roles and responsibility. Worker time entry profile, security grant, and time card status determine whether the action are available or unavailable. So benefit we are going to get is like this is an enhanced feature for everyone, so they can easily see that which features are available to me and which are not enabled for me, like cancel, save and close, submit, approve, print, which all features are available to employee to take any action. Again, you don't have to do any configuration for this. This is directly available. Now, integration with the delete assignment process in global human resources. Oracle Fusion Global Human Resources prevents a delete assignment process from completing the success if the assignment has time card. So earlier what happened when we used to delete the assignment process and there is a time card, system was allowing us to delete the assignment and then the time card is there without any assignment. Okay, but now system is going to give us an error that there is a time card, you cannot delete the assignment. So first you have to go and delete the time card manually, and then only you can run the process to delete the assignment. Okay. Enhance Oracle time and payroll reconciliation extract. So now we have an option to extract the time and labor data where we can select, where we will get a parameter to select either to exclude or include the information with no differences between time and labor and global payroll. So now basically it will give us an enhanced report, or it will give us an option to in the processes where we can directly select this option to include the differences or not. Then next feature is like generate time card enhancement. Now we are going to get one link directly on the time management screen from where we can directly generate a time card. Earlier we had to go on like other pages where we can generate a time card for employee, but now we are going to get a direct link where we can directly generate a time card for employee. So it will be more quick for HR to generate a time card for employees. Again, there is no configuration or we do not need to enable it. This is a quick win and directly available after 22D features is applied in your instance. Next one is like payroll task in person spotlight. So earlier we were not able to do the payroll task in the person spotlight, but now now some of the features or some of the actions available on the spotlight, like we can do the balance adjustment, we can run quick pay, we can access the calculation card, or we can do any changes in the calculation card. Similarly, we can access element entry, costing for a person, payment method, payroll relationship, payslip. So now professional users like any payroll manager, payroll admin, or HR user, they can directly access these actions on the person from the spotlight area. Add new input value to unused element. So this is a very good feature which I personally like it as a consultant. Earlier what happened, we used to create an element even without using it, we have not attached it to anyone. When we run a payroll, system doesn't allow us to add any input value, even though the element is not used. But now that is possible. Even if you will run payroll, only condition is like element must not be attached to anyone. System will allow us to create new input values. So it will not impact your day-to-day business. Let's say your payroll manager is running a process, running a payroll, or your team is running a quick pay or doing any testing. At the same time, you will be able to create element and input values also. Automatically add balances run dimension. So in this feature, now when we will run any balance and balance dimension on a group level balance, system will automatically add that particular dimension on the balance definition page also. Earlier we have to first go to balance dimension, add dimension, and then we need to come to group level balance to add that balance into the group. But now we can directly add that balance and dimension into group, and system will automatically add that dimension to the balance, which will be visible on the definition page. Next one is like calculation entries display reserve input values. Now we can view additional reserve input value in the standard entry section of the calculation entry page. So here you can see like hours and rates are available. These are the reserve input values, which was not visible earlier on the standard entries page. But now it will give us a better user experience on the calculation entry page, and hours and rate we can see it directly here. Now process event action flow for manual event action. This is another feature we are going to get in 22D. Now event group and event action can be used to control employees that are included in the process, such as to generate SCM rate and time card. The result can be validated by process action event flow using the generated reports, which will give us the list of employees included in the process. So earlier when we used to run any SCM rate process or anything, we were not getting any list of employees, or it was not at the employee level basically. But now we will get a feature where we can do this, we can run this manually at the employee level also. Flow message in CSV format. Now when we submit a calculate payroll flow, the flow will automatically generate an error warning message for us. Okay, so earlier when we used to run a payroll flow, to generate a error warning message, we need to run a payroll message report. But now that calculate payroll flow itself will give us a CSV file for all error and warning messages. So it will be quite easy for us to identify all the errors and warning we are getting in any payroll messages, and we can easily take any corrective action required. Logging and monitoring for the payroll background process. So this feature is generally is mainly for the technical or consultants. They can generate a logging or monitoring of all payroll processes in the background. They can run this process and find out what's going on in the payroll processes, and they can do the troubleshoot for the issues or like with any payroll processes. So this is mainly for the consultant or technical people.
Sorry to interrupt, Ankur. Can you go a bit slow? I guess people would need some time to go through the content.
Okay, sure. No worries. Now, next feature is like payroll costing result for a sub-ledger general entry. So now payroll manager can go and check the general sub-ledger general entries directly into general ledger. So here we will be able to see how the payroll costing result has been generated, and it will be available for payroll manager also to check that. Next one is intermediary bank account detail in payment XML. So this is mainly for the payment for international employees, or if you are paying from, let's say, UK, any employee working from US. So this will be for the intermediary bank account detail. You will get in your XML file, and then you will get it in your EFT file, like in your BAX file. Okay. So this is again direct feature available, and you do not have to do any configuration, or you do not need to enable this one. Global transfer for student loan, postgraduate loan component with future dated update. So this is mainly for UK payroll. Now whenever we are going to do any global transfer and there is any future update or future student loan or postgraduate loan attached to an employee, it will automatically go with that transfer, global transfer. Earlier we had to attach that student loan or postgraduate loan again after once the transfer is done. But now when you will do the transfer, System will automatically move all the data from student loan and postgraduate loan from the last assignment or last employment record to the new record. Okay. Now, start of year flow enhancement for exam detail update option. So this is for US payroll. Now, start of year flow has been enhanced with the inclusion of additional option when running the exam detail updated data type. Okay. So below are the exemption available on the text card now. And the benefit we are going to get is like this feature expand the exemption available for reset when you run the start of year flow. Second is again for the US payroll. Start of year flow enhancement for 457 limit update. So start of year flow has been enhanced when running the 457 limit update data type. The flow now ended the accumulated underutilized contribution for special 457B catch-up calculation value on the benefit and pension card as of 12/31 for the previous effective year. This feature will help us ensure they enter the updated underutilized contribution amount for each eligible employee for the upcoming year. Again, this feature is directly available from 22D and we do not need to do any configuration or we do not need to enable anything. Now, perform multiple tax year balance adjustment for third-party payment using HCM data. Again, this is for US payroll. So here, we can perform tax balance adjustment for multiple employees or for third-party payment using the HDL. Earlier, we had to do it manually for each employee, but now Oracle is giving us an option so that we can do the tax balance adjustment for multiple employees for third-party using the HDL, and we can utilize the HDL feature here. Periodic payroll archive enhancement to capture employer phone number. So now on the legal reporting unit, we can store employer phone number, and then periodic payroll archive process will get that phone number from the legal reporting unit and archive it so that it is available on the payslip and we can print it on the payslip as required. Okay. So this feature actually for the satisfaction of the legislation requirement for the New York Hawaiian area. So now that was about the quick wins with no configuration. Now next we are going to see quick win with configuration required. Optimize performance of multi-threaded process. Now system will be automatically able to identify how many threads are required for this payroll process or this HCM process, HCM extract process to complete it in the very limited time. So configuration is like we just need to set the parameter on the payroll process configuration page. So system will be able to identify how many threads are required for this particular processes. Like you are running a payroll, and system will automatically use the multi-thread to complete it in very optimized way. Okay, and the system will automatically, let's say there are 8 threads. So system will run a payroll process into 8 sub processes so that it can complete a whole process into less by 8 times. Cancel action. With this enhancement, we can use cancel action in the checklist and result summary UI to cancel all ESS thread of a flow task that are in a progress status. So earlier, if we had to cancel any payroll process, we used to go to schedule processes, and sometimes we are not even able to identify which process we need to cancel. But now we are going to get a cancel button itself on all the payroll processes in front end only. So we will be able to directly cancel the process as and when required. Okay. So those were the features which we can enable in our system, or we can do small configuration and utilize it. Next, we are going to see where we need to do the enable. So new payroll duty role. So these are the new payroll duty role for each subject area available now. So by default, everyone will not get access to all subject area of payroll, or they will not get the data of all payroll basically. So now if you want to enable any, let's say if you want to give access of OTBI subject area of element entry to anyone, these are the two duties which you need to apply to that or which you need to attach to that particular row. Similarly, whatever subject area access you want to give, you can attach any of these duty. So now basically the benefit we are going to get is like this enhancement is in addition to existing payroll transaction analysis duty role that secure all the payroll subject area. Okay. Support for multiple update in payroll, upgrade time elements. So basically earlier what happened when we used to run a process like run feature upgrade, we had no option to run it just for the updated time card. But now we have an option where we can run a process just for the updated time card. With this feature, we are just gonna create the time entries for the updated time card, and it is not going to create it for all time cards. Okay. Yes. Now in the view run result with element entry result identifier. So currently what happened, let's say you have two element, let's say ABC element attached on an employee, and when you are running a payroll, in the run result it is showing you both the entry and we are not able to identify which input value is linked to which pay value. Now with the help of element entry result identifier, we will be able to link all the input value for one particular element. So if there is an entry of two, there is an entry of element with this, like there are two element entry of the same element on employee, we will be able to identify which input value is for which element entry, and we can segregate that. Preview payslip and year-end document. Yes. So earlier we had to download payslip, we had to download year-end document once we have generated it to check the result. But now we can directly click on a preview payslip and preview year-end documents, and we do not need to download it. We can just verify it over there at the process itself. Payroll core support for defaulting tax reporting unit. Yes. Users who have identified in international payroll legislation such as United Nations can automatically assign a TRU to newly hired employee. So basically now there is an option where we can default a tax reporting unit based on few conditions. Like we can attach a TRU to an employee based on the salary basis also. Okay, so let's say if you have two salary bases and two TRU and one is linked with each other, so we can define that condition, and based on the salary basis you have selected in salary, TRU will automatically get attached and system will be able to generate the calculation cards for that particular TRU. Earlier we used to miss at the time of hiring, sometimes we miss the TRU selection of the TRU, and then we have to go and attach it on the statutory or any deduction card as required. But now we can do it like by default. So those were the features like which we need to enable. Now we will see the rest features. Autocomplete rule for childbirth and placement date, business object in absence management. So now we can write a rule where we can automatically set the planned end date on the maternity adoption pages. So let's say if you want to set an automatic end date of 1 year for any employees based on the start date, we can do it. We can write an automatic or autocomplete rule. For that, we need to raise Oracle SR to help us out with the automatic complete tool, but we can do that. So this feature gives us autonomy and control to customer to extend their existing application by creating their own rules. Okay. Audit enable for accrual table. So these are the three tables which you can see here. ANC plan per plan entries, ANC per accrual entry details, and ANC per accrual entry. So these are the three tables on which audit is now enabled. So even if somebody is going to delete any entries from here, we will be able to generate an audit report that which entry has been deleted by whom and all that details. Okay, so now we will be able to get the detailed information about the plan enrollment and accrual calculations. Next one is team schedule self-service pages enhancement. So now here When we enable multiple assignment, line manager and time and labor manager can filter the team schedules by offer and pending worker. By default, they will see only contingent worker and employee, but they can go and check and see offer, pending workers and all also. This is available just to line manager and time and labor manager. Okay. This announcement let line manager and time and labor manager manage all the schedules for their people. Basically, we can see to whom we have offer and pending worker assignments also here. Autocomplete rule for final close date, payroll assignment object in the termination flow. So now this is one important feature I think we got, like we can write an autocomplete rule for final close date on the payroll relationship. So whenever we are terminating any employee, now we can have some automated date for the final close on those employees. There are two ways of doing it. Either you can have a static one, like a paid date or period end date or something like that, or you can have a dynamic one. Dynamic one is like, let's say a termination date plus 90 days, anything. So that could be a dynamic one. So with the help of this feature, we can make sure that we do not have any extra employees, or we do not have any terminated employees where we don't have any transaction, but they are getting processed in payroll because we have not attached a final close date. So this is a benefit we can achieve. We can automatically attach a final close date, and as and when required, you can go and change the final close date for those employees and run payroll. Next one is autocomplete rule for tax reference unit in the payroll term business object in HR flow. So now we can create a rule using the rule type of field modification rule type. Business object is a payroll term and field value is default payroll entity. So again, this is an autocomplete rule we are going to get for HR flows. This feature provides us a better user experience while creating the rules with autocomplete. Okay. Copy future dated changes during global transfer. So this is similar to the student loan and postgraduate loan. Again, when we are going to do a global transfer, if there is any future dated changes, or if there is any end date also, system will automatically preserve that data. And whenever you are doing global transfer, system will take that data in that global transfer, and you will be able to see those changes in the next also. For the calculation card also, the future changes are copied irrespective of what stack is on the HR profile option. Okay, this feature reduces the manual effort. So earlier what happened, when we used to do the global transfer, we have to do the changes again. But now with this, with the help of this feature, we will not have to do the manual effort, and whatever changes we have there, it will automatically transfer to the new legal employer. Okay. Event support for HCM role. So again, like with this announcement, we can use the new event action solution to control which employee should have rates calculated. Earlier, what happened when we used to do generate a rate SCM process, it used to run it for all the employees. Doesn't matter there is a change or not. But now we can control it. We can control it with the help of event action group. We can use the event action group to define what type of changes should trigger rates to be calculated for an employee. Okay. So now the process will be much faster. The benefit we are going to get is control which employees have rate calculated using a new event solution, as I explained. Okay. So those were the features we are going to get. Now we are going to look into the new OTBI enhancement we are getting in 22D. So we are getting one new subject area, which is called as a Workforce Management Absence Entitlement Case Real Time. So this subject area will give us a real-time information on a worker's absence case information for UK statutory payroll plans. Okay. So absence case is a collection of absence record. Okay. We can use the time dimension to report on the absence case history or future dated absences. So basically now we can generate a report for the absence cases for all UK statutory plans with new subject area. So this is only one feature we are getting in the OTBI. Okay. Now there are few known issues also. Absence OTBI subject area hides certain absences from multi-assignment employees. Yes. So currently, if you apply your multi-assignment employee in multi-assignment absences in an advanced mode at a person level, your OTBI doesn't return the data for that particular employee. Okay. So this is a known issue which is coming from a previous release also. Like currently we do not have any solution, but only workaround is like if you want to apply absence at a person level, avoid to generate it in the advanced mode. Just apply absence on the basic mode. Then OTBI will give us the output for that particular absence also. HCM calendar can't display overlapping resource exceptions. When you assign multiple overlapping resource exception to an employee at the same level, they will not show correctly on the HCM calendar page. Okay. So workaround for this is like the issue won't be resolved because there isn't functional result for creating multiple resources. So basically, we just need to avoid creating multiple overlapping resources exception to an employee, so that we can show the properly it on the HCM calendar. Again, the issue is coming from the previous releases. Individuals can view all their respective time cards. Okay, so in the classic UI earlier, individuals cannot view any time card that are outside of their period defined by the days before or the days after. But in the responsive UI, it doesn't matter what is your days before or days after, it is showing you all the time cards. So that is the issue right now we have, that is a known bug. This issue will be fixed only when customer raise a related concern and need the ability to restrict the view of responsive time card for people. So you just need to raise Oracle SR if you face this issue. You do not want to show it to an employee like time card before your days and after your days settings based on the configurations. Task iteration status. Okay. So in payroll processes, like we have multiple processes where there are multiple subtasks. So what happened like when you run one processes and when you try to roll it back, in the internal process system will show you as yes, it is rolled back. But when you come outside, it will show you as a succeeded, while it should show you the rollback process. Now there is this is a known issue, but there is no workaround at the moment. So only workaround from Oracle is like the issue will be corrected in a future release so that the task iteration page reflect the same status as the checklist. In the meantime, they are advising us to drill down from the task iteration page to the process result detail page in order to get more detail and check if the process is rolled back or if the process is actually completed successfully. Okay. Now, automatic element entry issue when using worker HCM data loader. So again, when we are migrating workers using a HDL file, sometimes system is not able to create automatic element entries for those employees. Okay. Generally, this happens when we try to migrate multiple historic records for those particular employees. Okay, so this is a known issue, and the workaround or suggested approach from Oracle is like you just need to ignore the history record. If you can migrate the worker simple employees or with current record or only one record in the worker file, system will be able to generate the element entry as expected. There is a future enhancement. Oracle is working on it, and they will provide us the solution in future. Now, incorrect warning message appear during duplicate bank account entry. So when employee is trying to enter a payment method or a bank account, which is already exist for that particular employee, system was giving us a warning message like bank account is already exist and attached to another person. Do you want to become a joint owner of that bank account? So this is an incorrect message which gives a wrong information to an employee. Again, this is a known issue, but there is no workaround, and Oracle is working on it. Data loader task result. So when we are using HDL related tasks like initiate data loader process, system is not showing us all the values of HDL process data. Like it are not returning all the HDL process result, like what all data has been processed. Like you will see the limited result data when you try to view the HDL process from these pages. Okay. To see the results, use the submit another task and navigate the checklist from the task iteration page and drill down to the HDL. Workaround is like again, you can use the checklist page or you can use the data exchange area and you can drill down into the HDL page to view the HDL result. Submit related flow with error or correction. When a flow status is in error or correction, a user should not be able to submit a related flow. So there are a lot of processes in payroll which are related to each other. But when it is like in error or it stopped automatically or it is rolled back, you should not be able to submit a related flow. Okay, but right now currently it happens. So basically this is a known issue again, and Oracle recommend us not to submit a related flow that is already in error or is corrected or rolled back. Okay, so we first need to complete it successfully and then only we should submit a related flows. Not able to create events using cost allocation DEO. Okay, so the cost allocation DEO is not available to create events to prorate or retrospective process for the costing result based on the costing setup changes. So user won't be able to create event like to prorate or to do the retrospective processing of the cost result based on the costing setup changes in the date effective mode at payroll relationship level, element entry, payroll relationship element, or payroll assignment, anywhere. Okay, so currently there is no workaround on it. uh, Proration and retrospective processes were never supported in other costing levels such as payroll, department, job, position, element, eligibility, and all. So currently this is an issue and known bug, and we do not have any workaround for that. Payroll global transfer business object usability in AUTOCOMPLETE. So payroll global transfer business object displays attribute that should be hidden. So when we try to do the payroll global transfer, it shows few attributes which should not be shown over there. The only workaround from Oracle is like we recommend user not to use the business object until the fix to hide the attribute is delivered. Responsive professional payslip page smart navigation issue. The responsive smart navigation component does not contain payroll professional tasks such as element entry or payment method, meaning you cannot easily move to one of these tasks in the context of the same person. Like what we need to do every time is like if you are on the element entry page and you want to go to the payment method, then you need to return to the payroll work area and then go to that task and search for an employee. So this is also the workaround provided by Oracle as of now. You need to go to the either you can go to the payroll work area, select another task, search for an employee. Another option is like you can use global search to search a task, open that task and search an employee. Third option available is like you can go to the quick action, select a task and then search for an employee. Okay. But as of now, we do not have option like where you can move directly from one action to another action. Next one is like GL users are unable to drill down the costing. So as I explained earlier, like one of the feature we are getting for a payroll manager is like we can see the result for the GL general ledger data. So that is available in the payroll manager duty only, payroll manager role only, but it is not available to the general ledger reporting duty at the time. So as of now, there is no workaround available. The issue will be fixed in future. So it is working on it, and we are hoping to get it very soon. So those were the known issues we have right now in 22D. Now we will talk about the replace or remove feature. So there is one feature which is removed by Oracle, that is expediting for payroll reprocessing in time card entries. So there was an option of expedite payroll. Here you can see on the screen also. Now Oracle has removed it totally, so we cannot check that, and you cannot remove that element entry. You cannot expedite that element entry to be processed in the payroll. So now the benefit we are going to get is like this remove enhancement time card management by preventing issues related to retroactive changes to expedite. So now we will go to like Q&A, and I will hand it over to my colleague Rahul.
Thank you, Anku, for wonderful insights. Before we move to Q&A, with the help of a quick poll, we would quickly like to note down your area of interest in order to organize future webinars with more valued content. So here is the poll to let us know your area of interest, whether it's technology innovation, managed services, value-based analytics, slide 4.0. We will be closing the poll in next 5 seconds. Thank you. Suhas, do we have any questions?
No, Rahul, we don't have any questions in the panel.
There was a hand raised from one of the attendees. I think I've just requested him to ask a question. So chat or question panel, if that's possible. Otherwise, we're more than happy to connect even after a few minutes. I'll drop an email to the attendee and we'll be more than happy to take a call there. So you could go next. That's okay.
Yeah. So you will receive an email in next couple of days time wherein presentation and session recording and test scripts would be available at your single click. Before you leave us, we would like to have a quick feedback on today's session. Please rate overall experience of today's session. We'll be closing the poll in next 5 seconds, so please answer. Last poll for the day. Have you attended any previous advisory sessions? Closing the poll now. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.